One take, one shot. This is the SmackDown review where I do it immediately following said episode of SmackDown. That way you get my raw, visceral reaction, my gut reaction, if you will. I can't watch another YouTuber and repurpose their ideas. Gotta tell you what I think right now before I go to bed. All right, so what did I think? It was an alright SmackDown. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't anything to write home about, but I will tell you there were a couple really cool moments, and the biggest was Carmelo Hayes freaking won a match. Not just did he win a match, but he won a match against Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, if you don't know, just beat Roman Reigns a couple months ago. Holy cow, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are they going to bury Carmelo Hayes, or are they going to really bury Carmelo Hayes? And he won. It was by countout, and it was because Cody Rhodes put on his big boy pants today and started acting like a champion, but like, I don't care. Beggars can't be choosers. Carmelo Hayes freaking won. And he's advancing in the tournament. Now you might be like, well, he's just going to get beat by Gunther. You know, let's worry about him getting beat by Gunther tomorrow. Let's just celebrate the fact that Melo didn't miss. So very happy about that. And I'm also happy that Cody Rhodes acted like this champion right here. This belt deserves someone who acts like a champion. And he got it tonight because, you know, Cody did a fine job. He's still like... He was doing a fired-up promo after he cost Bronson Reed the match, and he was still using a little bit too big of words. It was like he was kind of running down a list. I kind of need more. I don't know. He's still a little stiff, but whatever. Right direction for Cody Rhodes. Acted like a champion tonight. And we'll talk all about that after I tell you how you can be a champion. All you got to do is comment below, and you can win this championship. You and Cody Rhodes can go respect everybody with this championship on your shoulder. All you got to do is comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. Ding, 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 notification, and you can win this championship on my road to quit my day job at 20,000 subscribers. It's not a toy, folks. It's a replica. All right, let me set it down. We're still going, and we're back. All right, so we start off. That's my chair, by the way. Some people think I'm passing gas. I'm not. Well, not right then. You never know. Stop. Okay. Gosh, why do I do that? Gee golly. So we start off SmackDown with the Vision. We get the Vision. They come out, and it was just what I feared. Braun Breaker is legit just in the background, and Paul Heyman, he speaks on everybody very highly, but he gives the mic to Logan Paul. Logan Paul is the one that's going to speak, therefore, the first one to speak, therefore Logan Paul is the center of the Vision. I don't understand that, but like, I don't mind Logan Paul in the Vision. I really don't. But I mind that Braun Breaker is not the leader of the Vision, the center of the attention of the Vision. And yeah, I didn't like that at all. But so Logan Paul, he's going to speak, and he says, I got a list. And he looks at his hand, and he wrote what he was about to say on his hand. I don't know if that was like, I'm pretty confident we were supposed to like be in on the joke that Logan Paul just couldn't speak or something, and so he's gonna look at his hand because he never got to read it because the Usos came out, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. Looks like we're gonna have a tag team match play up, but we didn't. I was surprised, but the Usos come out, and then Paul Heyman says, I thought I taught you better than this, you know, bloodline this, bloodline that, numbers game, and the Usos are like, well, we got a third man too, and then we cut to Cody Rhodes' his bus, and then we see Cody Rhodes just kind of like laid out on the steps of his bus, and out walks Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has beat him up. It harkened back to when Cody Rhodes got beat up by The Rock in the parking lot. The problem is, this one we didn't see. I really think man, if they really wanted to just capture our attention, they should have just cut to a beatdown of Cody Rhodes in the parking lot. I think that would have been way cooler than just the aftermath. Now, I do appreciate that this was cool, but I think it could have been just so much cooler if we had gotten kind of a repeat of The Rock's beatdown of Cody in the parking lot. Drew doing that. That would have just been so much better. It was just such a hot start. We had some matches that like went too long anyway, so we could have easily cut time here, cut time there, but we didn't. And but it was still all right. So the Usos, they run back there, and they're like, "Oh my God, Cody, you're hurt." And then Drew McIntyre stops. You can see him in his car. He's driving, and he's like, "See you at WarGames, champ." And then he just drives away. So Drew McIntyre, what a highlight. The Nick Aldis will get mad at this, and he'll go to the Paul Heyman and the Brawns later. And he's like, I suspended Drew. And Paul Heyman's like, we respect that. That's why I told him to leave the building. He's with us for WarGames, but like, we're respecting you. And so, yeah, so it's good stuff. It's good, but it could have been better. There was also a scene in the ring that I don't know if this was a joke or not, but like the Usos were starting to make fun of like Logan Paul or something, and Logan Paul was like, I'm going to come out there and beat you up, and Braun Breaker held him back. So I think that was a joke, but like we better not be in a situation where Braun Breaker's the cooler head between those two, because Braun Breaker should be a loose cannon. In fact, Braun Breaker almost got into a fight with Nick Aldis during that other confrontation I talked about, and they had to hold Braun Breaker back, but it looked real. When Braun Breaker gets mad, it looks real. When Logan Paul looks mad, it's like, okay, whatever. So, anyways, Cody's laid out. He goes into the hospital room or the medical whatever. He didn't leave. He just went to their medic room. After that, we go right into Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough. So I'm gonna tell you this, I don't know what happened, but I got a bunch of flies in my house right now, so I'm trying to figure out what that is going on. And during this match, I was like, I was looking for that. So I had my headphones on. I listened to everything. I did pop in here and there, and I saw a lot of cool moves, but SmackDown has a habit of ending their matches at 7:35, 8:35, and I called it 5 minutes before. I was like, this match is going to end at 8:35, and it did. Literally go back and watch the last 3 or 4 weeks of SmackDown, and you will notice a trend that at 8:35, sometimes all the way to 40, we end the match. So it's so predictable, so through the motions. This was a great match. JD McDonough has an awesome standing Spanish fly that's way better than when he's on the ring mat instead of on the ropes. But I'm telling you, I don't know. If I want to see good matches, I'll kind of go and watch AEW. For real, everybody's like, oh, these are banger matches. But if we see banger matches after banger matches, it's I don't know, they kind of lose something. I was more entertained by Tunga Loa just literally saying, yeah, come on, let's go. We're going to murder you. After Solo Sikoa did a promo, every time Solo made a point in a promo, Tunga Loa said something. I was more entertained by that than I was by JD and Ilya Dragunov. And it's because I'm seeing this type of match every single week. It's losing what made it special for Sami Zayn. Maybe if they did a once a month challenge for Ilya Dragunov, we could do something like that. I don't know, but it's losing it. And you might say, well, you were preoccupied looking for flies and stuff, which is a fair point. But later in the night, we had DIY versus Fraxium, and that was also a really good match that I was just kind of like, I'm over it. I was more entertained by Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair having a sit-down meeting where they agree to be on the same team, and Charlotte stands up trying to assert dominance over Rhea Ripley. I was more entertained by that than these great matches. These are great matches. I don't know. I think there's a little too much wrestling in wrestling lately, and we need to see more stories, more angles. Like I said earlier, Drew McIntyre, we should have saw that beatdown of Cody Rhodes because there was even blood. We should have saw that beatdown. And then we could have cut 5 or 10 minutes off of JD and Ilya. 5 or 10 minutes off of the DIY and Fraxium. But the Carmelo Hayes Bronson Reed match, that was a really solid match. Like, that should have been the one big match of the night. Everything else should have been way shorter, and we need to speed things up. Like, we live in a YouTube, TikTok attention span, and it's just like, we just need to speed things up. We need to go, go, go. It needs to be a breakneck speed like it was back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Just an old man yelling at a cloud here. But Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough, it was fine. It was fine. JD's like very underrated, and it's nice to see JD presented as an actual threat, like he was in NXT UK and NXT. But like Ilya Dragunov, they won. Charlotte, Alexa Bliss takes Charlotte to Rhea and Io, and they Alexa and Io leave so they can sit down. Later, they will just pretty much say, you know, Rhea says, if I'm going to go to war with someone, then it would be with you because I know how good you are, dangerous you are, whatever. And Charlotte agrees to siding with her. And then they will have an in-ring promo at the end. We'll talk that later. Paul Heyman talks to Nick Aldis. Ilya Dragunov's walking backstage, and Tama Tonga keeps looking at him. And then they leave. Tommaso Ciampa keeps saying stuff to him. And then he leaves. Ilya's still kind of ducking him, but he's not. I don't know. That's a weird storyline. Reed and Carmelo Hayes, they have their matchup. This was good. This was really good. I am just shocked that Carmelo Hayes put up a really good fight, and then he won. The only problem I had with this, it's a minor problem. At one point, the Vision, they come out during middle of the match, and it's like, you're like, oh, well, what's the problem? They're the heel team. Yeah. But Bronson Reed just beat Roman Reigns. He shouldn't really be having that much trouble against anybody, especially against Carmelo Hayes, who they booked weaker. I'm glad, do not hear me wrong. I'm very happy with the outcome. Very happy that Carmelo Hayes won. But I'm telling you, within the storylines, how it's been presented, what they should have done right from the get-go, they should have had the Vision come out. That way, it's an intimidation factor. That way, they're being bullies. But when Braun Breaker and Logan Paul come out during the middle of the match, it's because Bronson Reed's in trouble. You get what I'm saying? These are nuances, but they're very important. The devil is in the details. Really good storytelling is in the really small details. The Vision should have came out either completely first, or they should have came out. We could have had Nick Aldis just ban them from ringside, and he could have said something like, if the Vision go out there at any point, then they will lose their WarGames advantage. And so that would have kept everybody at bay. And then we could have had Cody still come out and do the exact same sequence. Or the Vision just comes out in the beginning of the match and not the middle of the match. All right, there. I'm off my soapbox. There's my soapbox. Throwing it away. I'll probably grab it back. I'll need it back, actually. What's the point of having a YouTube channel if you can't get on your soapbox and just say all your opinions and that everybody else's opinions is wrong, and only I am right? Just kidding. Maybe. Anyways, so then we have, okay, so they're getting involved, and it's like surprising again, like, why is Bronson Reed needing all this Interference? But the Usos, they come out. The Usos come out, and then they get Logan Paul and Braun Breaker. They go through the crowd, and then that allows Paul Heyman. He's like kind of like talking to the ref, distracting, but Cody Rhodes comes out and he crossroads Bronson Reed, and that then allows Carmelo Hayes to get back in the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have another count out. Then until Leonardo did point out that we just did a count out. So it's kind of weird with Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree that we're doing that again. Honestly, I don't see why we couldn't just throw Bronson in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Give Carmelo Hayes the pinfall victory. If Bronson Reed's going to lose, then just let him lose. It's because of Cody Rhodes anyways. So Carmelo wins. He advances. I love that. Love that. That's the best part of the show to me. And Tungaloa just saying, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. But then Cody Rhodes, he cuts a promo. He said things like historically as he's like really mad and stuff. It didn't, some of the words weren't matching how angry he should be. But again, whatever. Then Bronson Reed, though, sold this Crossroads so much. Here's another. I'm glad I got my soapbox back. The fact that Cody Rhodes has to use a super cutter on Seth Rollins during the Crown Jewel, and he does usually like 3 Cody cutters in a row to pin people nowadays. One Crossroads shouldn't take out Bronson Reed to the point that he gets a 10 count and still is too groggy to fight Cody Rhodes. That should have ended in another like brawl because Bronson Reed should have got up, but he sold the one Crossroads for like 3 or 4 minutes. So that was kind of like, yeah. Could have been better, could have been worse. But Cody Rhodes, at least he had some fire. He didn't say respect. Although Rhea Ripley will say respect at the at 8:35, or was it 9:35? At the 9:35 hour, I marked it down, the word respect. They only said respect one time tonight, so I guess that's an improvement, unfortunately. I can respect that. All right, so Carmelo Hayes wins. Cody acts like a champion. And then what do we got here? The DIY match with Fraxium. It's fine. It's great. It's whatever. Just another banger. I want more stories. Another banger. Not much story, but Candice LeRae does like get the rope thing. She grabs Fraxium's head and he gets on the throat to the rope to the throat. Takes the mask, actually, and then we get a pinfall there because he's so like, I can't show my face. The funniest part about this match, though, was Corey Hayes was like, he's hideous, oh my God. And then Nathan Frazier put a towel over his head, and then Corey Graves still kept saying, yeah, you see, none of his partner wants to look at him. That was really funny. That was like Bobby the Brain level funny right there. Maybe even, probably more Bobby the Brain than Jerry Lawler, but I liked it. It was really funny. Chelsea Green says we can't do the ceremony, the celebration for my U.S. title tonight. And someone said in the chat that we should just keep postponing it every week, kind of like a running gag. I think that would actually be kind of good. Let's running gag that, where every week she postpones it. Finally, I added this part where she puts like a big down payment on a huge celebration, right? And for sure it's gonna be next week, and this goes on for like 3 months. And then she loses the title the week before she has her ceremony, but she's put all the money down, so she goes through with it anyways. And it's like this really sad ceremony of her U.S. title victory. It could be 6 months from now. Who cares? We just keep postponing it. The funny thing is, or the interesting thing here is Jade. Jade actually is like, at some point, Chelsea says she's the best champion, and Jade's like, you're the best champion? So are we going to have a heel versus heel program? Chelsea could pull it off, but what worries me is Jade, she had one like 30-second promo, 1 minute promo. I don't know what it was. Then she had a match with B-Fab, who is the lowest on the card. She is the lowest jobber on the card now that Maxine Dupree has won the Intercontinental title, because it used to be B-Fab and Maxine Dupree tied, and then Meacham. But now Maxine has jumped up. I guess Ivy Nile has dropped down. But regardless, where was I going with that? Jade Cargill. So then tonight she has like a 1 minute segment with Chelsea Green, where Chelsea is the one that looks the best, because Chelsea's usually going to steal the scene. So like, let's not do what we did with Io Sky after she won WrestleMania, where we just take, or even what we did with Tiffany Stratton, we just take the champion off TV. We need to build on this momentum of Jade Cargill. Please don't just throw her down with like 30-second segments and stuff like that. We need more Jade Cargill. She just won a championship Championship. Let's build on that momentum. Momentum is a thing. Ask Einstein. All right. Then we have, Sami Zayn does a big rah-rah speech. Basically, the League of Nations 2.0. Look at these guys from the United States. Look at that guy from Mexico. Look at that guy from Japan. I don't think he said he was from Canada, but regardless, we need to... Okay, everybody's like, we're going to beat up the MFTs. And then Solo Sikoa later on will say, all right, look at my family. And that's where Tonga Loa is like, yeah, let's do this. Let's go. Great stuff there. And Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. And I wore my Demon shirt in honor of Finn, but I knew he was going to lose. There's not a world in the multiverse where Finn Balor won tonight, unfortunately. Yeah, no, unfortunately, Finn lost throughout it's a Nexus event that Finn Balor is going to lose. If you don't know what a Nexus event is, I'm sorry, sometimes I just nerd out. Nerd alert. A Nexus event is basically in every single timeline, this must happen, or in your timeline, something must happen. No matter what, you can't change that. That's what a Nexus event is. I had to say it. I stopped my notes after that. I think after that is just the main event segment. After Charlotte and Rhea, shake hands or whatever, they come out. Rhea says, yep, we're all friends here, and here's our final friend. And then AJ Lee's music hits. She stands there, and then boom, Kabuki Warriors and Lash and Nia attack. They attack. And so then comes running AJ Lee to go and help her newfound friends, but then she's attacked before she gets there by the best in the world, Becky Lynch. And that's not just me saying it, that's Sports Illustrated. But so Becky attacks, and then she goes into the ring and she shakes Asuka's hand. And diabolical! We got ourselves a 5-on-5 women's WarGames matchup right now with Becky, Asuka, Kairi, Nia, and Lash versus AJ Lee, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, and Charlotte Flair. Woo! And there you have it. That was SmackDown. I yawned about 11 times. I was very tired. Got distracted by some flies. Mellow winning, Tonga Loa talking, and I guess Drew McIntyre doing what he did, and Cody acting like a champion. But there was just, I don't know, there was just some downtime. 6. This is the one where I would say go look up the segments. You don't need to watch the episode. Just go look up the individual segments. And if you do want to see a good match, Ilya and JD was a good match. Just, I want some more stories from this point forward. So, all right, boys. All right, girls. Thank you very much. I'll give it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chops. 11 yawns. Did I say 11 or 12 yawns? Can't remember. And that's it. All right, go leave a hot take. See ya. Bye. Oh, also Patreon. Join the Patreon, please. I want to keep doing wrestling videos every day. The Patreon is what's going to make that happen. Please. $5 a month plus exclusive content. Bye.